This what I'm saying, bro. Yo, let's make a voice note discussion on this topic, man, because we're gonna expose this shit. We're gonna expose the fraternities, man. Like literally, it is fucking false spirituality. Reason why I say fraternity and sorority is false spirituality that was made by this sociopath and psychopath narcissistic slave owner matrix ran by the demon room aliens. You know what I'm saying? Because like, check this out. It's just like for example, if I speak to females in college about what spirituality is, like thinking for yourself, detached from the matrix, those females that tend to be in fraternities and sororities, they not trying to hear that shit because they think that, oh, like anything against the fraternity and sorority, you're not so-called woke. You're not so-called spiritual because you're not in the social norm group. You're not in the fucking played as mindless, heartless, soulless group like fraternity and sorority. You know what I'm saying? And that shit is not part of the cosmos. It's not of the angel number multiverses. It don't help heal multiverses.
When I went to school for like a year and a half at A&T, I knew about fraternities and sororities, but when I really found out about them was when I went to Claflin and I visited. And like, I seen the difference in between the fraternities and as they say what they do and the things that they say and talk about and do, shit like that. It's different. But when you go to school, you feel me? You go to school and you actually see that shit firsthand. You can sense that something is off about it. Just don't know exactly what it is.
And the thing about these industries like the fraternities and sororities, they don't help you think for yourself. They don't help you ascend your mind, heart, and soul. They don't want that all seeing mind, heart, and soul eye to be activated. That's which is why the fraternities, sororities exist. So like they can keep, human extraterrestrials or whoever joined those fraternities and sororities to be trapped in a prison matrix way of thinking and just be able to slave away for the D-room alien slave owners for like their existence in the narcissistic matrix. It's fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? I had classmates who joined the fraternity and sorority. They never fuck with me ever since they joined that shit. And so I'm like, that's why I know that shit is a narcissistic, sociopath, psychopath control that's ran by these D-room alien slave owners. Fuck fraternity and sorority.
Now that we're here, almost 4 years later, now I have a pretty good conclusion. We have came to the conclusion actually, like it's something to control the mind, to control the spirit, because we would think, us as people, we think that sororities and fraternities there to build us up, to help us, brotherhood, sisterhood, because that's what they tell us, right? It's crazy that we don't do our own research, or we don't trust ourselves to know it and to believe that we know that shit is not true, because we can feel it, we can sense it. We sense what's real. Our body tells us what's real. It's up to us to actually listen and be aware. What's even more crazy, to add to what you just said, you have to have a certain criteria to even meet or be able to even think you're going to be in a sorority or fraternity. There are certain things that you have to do, that you have to equip yourself to do. They want you to do certain things their way. And when you do it their way, it's like, oh, okay, you're in. That's what it is to them. It's like, it's not chess, it's checkers when it comes to that. Because it's really playing mind games with you, instead of them having you think that, oh, we're going to do this together as a free-minded spirituality, diverse, unique gift. This is what it is. Instead of them promoting it like that, they promote it on a whole different platform that's really not, what's the word? Very useful to us human beings who are outside of the sororities. If your soul is not aligned to their journey, it's like they somewhat condemn you for it. It's like you have to be a certain individual that they want you to be able to be in their group. because not just anybody can be a fraternity, be in a fraternity or in a sorority. There's certain things that you have to do before you can cross that line and be accepted within it. Why? That doesn't make sense. Why? If we're all here for spiritual reasons, we're all here to awaken the spiritual divineness and spread love and open ourselves within each other. Why do we have to do this shit like it's an audition? Why do we have to audition damn near to be in a fraternity or sorority? Why? Why are the groups kept secret like they're sacred? Like, because in their eyes they are sacred, but what are they doing that's sacred to where they can expose it? Why can't they expose what they're doing behind closed doors? What are they doing behind closed doors to where they can't expose it? If anybody feel like they can't expose something that's going on behind closed doors, it's because they got some flaw ass shit going on, and they know it. And they know if they expose it, the popularity of the groups, they won't be as big as they are when it comes to HBCUs. Do you not realize that only HBCUs really effectively worship fraternities and sororities? HBCUs now. Think about it. I just thought about that when I just said that shit. That shit just clicked, literally.
You hit a lot of points, you know what I'm saying? See, that's why I said fraternities and sororities is a slave owner spirituality. It's very narcissistic because they're all about control. They want the so-called students, they want the students to do everything their way. They want them to follow, the slave owner way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? They don't want them to be free, and they don't want them to, expand their mind, heart, and soul to just like spread love. Like, because like you have to put on a dang mask. You have to put on, a facade. You know what I'm saying? When you are with these fraternities and sororities, you know what I'm saying? These two-faced slave owners, like the draconians that made this fraternity and sorority, you know what I'm saying? They already broke universal laws, and Mother Earth, as far as this planet Mother Earth, is angry at that.
Why HBCUs the only schools that promote fraternities and sororities? The only schools, the only universities who allow strongly African American students to be in their vicinity. Why is it a must that they be a part of a fraternity or sorority? Because I realized as soon as I got to school, they were trying to make me be in the sorority. Before school or class had even started, one of the counselors was speaking to me about sororities and what I like to be in a sorority, and if I did, which one that would fit me and my personality. Like, you can't talk about my classes more than a sorority. Like, I'm here for school. I don't give a fuck about no sorority. I came here to learn, to educate myself, to unlearn the miseducation that I have went through. Like, to be forced into a play event that is not for my soul, or force me into something that makes me become a slave, in other words. Because when you're in a sorority or fraternity, you're like a slave. You gotta answer to somebody. You move when somebody tell you to move. You walk when somebody tell you to walk. You do as they say and when they say, and when you don't, you are punished for it. Literally, they punish you in some way for not doing what they say and how they say it. Kind of shit is that? That's crazy. That's a demon shit right there. Demon alien shit. Now that we are talking about it, it makes sense, man. It's crazy. Yes, it is crazy, man, and everything that you just said, it makes totally sense. They do not want you thinking for self. They want everybody on one accord. How the fuck can you be on one accord with someone or something who are scared to be on one accord with themselves? How can you preach to me about doing something that you're not capable of doing, that you don't even want to do, that you don't even care about doing? The only thing in these sororities' minds is to take everyone and make them believe that they need whatever they're feeding them in them groups, whatever they're feeding them in them, the sacred discussions. They're having them think that that's what they need to live on. those are the codes that they have to press on when they're telling them those things, they're feeding them lies, they're feeding them the same shit that we.
Right. You are hitting every single nail, man. We're going to go hard on this, man. And look, you notice, and let me tell you this too. I notice, like, when I speak to, some females that could be at a college, right? You know what I'm saying? They sound so arrogant or act like they don't got no time for me and shit like that. And then I look and see that they're part of some type of alpha, omega, and zeta and some type of shit, like in these fraternities and sororities. It makes sense because they're controlled. They're fucking played. Mindless, heartless, soulless beings. You know what I'm saying? That don't know how to operate with beings that are not in fraternity that can think for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to tell you, all of my friends on social media, they think for themselves. They're not in any fraternity and sorority groups and shit. You know what I'm saying? And it makes a bunch of sense.
Just shit like that, it breaks us because they don't want everybody to think for themselves, to be free-minded, to be liberated. They want you to think and talk and walk the way that they do. You feel what I'm saying? And if you don't walk, talk, or speak the way that they do, you probably would be punished for it. What kind of shit is that? It's like parenthood, somewhat. That's like that demonic, unhealed parenthood and trauma that some of us went through growing up in our lifestyles. It's like a cycle. It's a fucking cycle. I'm glad we're having this discussion so we can break this damn cycle. We need our people to understand that we're bigger than all of this shit, and we don't need anything but ourselves and each other. We don't need no one telling us how to live and what to do. We don't need no fucking organization telling us what's wrong or what's right. If you have morals, you have values, and you have a core within, then you know what is true to you. You know what is valuable to you. You know what is love to you. You know what makes you love and makes you feel light. You don't need an organization or a fraternity or a sorority to tell you who you are and what you are. At all, because that's what it is. That's what those fraternities and sororities is about. When I think about it now, trying to tell you who you are and make you be someone that they are, make you be who they want you to be, so you don't be who you are destined to naturally be.
That's the thing about it, because fraternities and sororities is nothing but narcissistic parenthood. You pair rents. The word parent. And you pair rents for the fraternity and sororities, because basically these fraternity and sororities are making money off the students. They're guinea pigs. They see students as their guinea pig. They don't care about the students at any HBCU, at any college. This is for all fraternity and sororities, especially in the United States. You know what I'm saying? And it's nothing but false teachings in those fraternities and sororities. You know what I'm saying? They have a lot of empty vibrational rituals, that be casted on those students. And however those students act when they're around soulful beings, it's because those fraternities and sororities have made these students scared.
You had me thinking now when you just said that, like, the sororities are how you feeling and thinking that you don't need anyone but them, and that's why they don't have time for anything else or anyone else, because that sorority feeds into them that all you need is us, your sorority sisters, your sorority brothers. You don't need no family, you don't need no friends outside of this sorority, because they don't want anybody to get in their ear and feed them this type of knowledge that we're speaking about and open their mind about what's true and what's real.
You know what I'm saying? The students that are in fraternities and sororities, they be afraid to talk to, non-fraternity, non-sorority individuals who don't partake in any social norm groups that be in tune with the angel number multiverses and connect with, galactic, extraterrestrial, celestial, anthropomorphic soul family life forms in all the cosmos. those fraternity students, man, and sorority, saying those the ones who fucking just go along with whatever that's been told to them and be afraid to speak against it. They be afraid to connect with soulful beings like us because of what the draconian slave owners have said. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me started on how, the students in the fraternity and sororities be used for sets. And yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? I can tell you, it ain't just humans that's in the fraternities and sororities, because it's a lot of life forms that's living amongst the earth, right? So far as this plant, for example, when we talk about fraternity and sorority, slave owner systems, you know what I'm saying? We also, man, we even got some Palladians and, tarots and other human looking life forms that's in the fraternities and sororities, you know what I'm saying? They're like caught up in a matrix scam that's like, tarnishing in their own growth, you know what I'm saying? And this is like for all alien species that's in the fraternity and sororities to get the fuck out of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's hard to get out of that shit, you know what I'm saying? And like you don't have to join it just to see that. That's comes from an intuition from your mind, heart, and soul that sees it.
It's like they take these beautiful souls, they take them as guinea pigs, and but they reprogram them to their level. They reprogram them to some alien shit, to some demonic shit. They program them to thinking that they can't speak for themselves. They can't speak for themselves. That they don't need to love themselves, or, well, I'm not going to say need to love themselves, but don't need to know how to love others properly. They don't tell you that. They're not going to tell us those things, but they're going to show us these things. And we're living proof witnesses that they do these things, because I watched them. I watch some of my friends who have beautiful souls go somewhere else and turn into someone I know they're not, because I've done it before. I've went somewhere, I've been places and turned into someone I had no intentions of being. But when you're around very strong people who know how to control and manipulate you without even you realizing it, they will have you doing and saying shit that you don't normally fucking say and do. And you won't realize it until after the mouth. And by that time, the damage may be already done. There's consequences for everything. These demonless souls don't give a fuck about consequences, because in their eyes, there's no consequences. There's no love. There's nothing but greed, misunderstanding, competition, controlling shit. We don't need to be controlled, nigga. We have been controlled all our fucking life.
Yo, let me tell you something, Lodi. You know, it's just like this, for example, right? Let's say you, the same with me. Like when them college girls don't even like, be receptive to like my soulful aura. You know what I'm saying? They just diss it because they've been in the fraternity and the sorority for so long. It's just like if you was to speak to a dude, what I'm saying, that be in college and shit like that, and he is not receptive to your goddess aura, and you like, having elevating conversations that's opening up his mind, heart, and soul and stuff like that, right? It's because that fraternity and sorority has fucking tarnished him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is the reason why, as soon as newborns are born, the draconians try to destroy a lot of these newborns as they get older to be indoctrinated by the fraternities and the sororities.
It's time that we be free and liberated. But how can we do that if they're taking our people and they feeding our people to the wolves? And people don't even give a fuck. It's like they just sitting there and they're allowing it because it ain't them, or it's because it's not their people. They don't give a fuck, I guess. They don't realize that we all need each other, that we all are connected, we all are one somehow. Somewhere down the fucking line, we all are one. That's a natural law. We are one. Every single one of us, we are one. They don't want us to know that. They don't want us to believe in that. Because once we realize that and we see how much power and energy that we have connected together, boy, we can overpower and overtake anything. Them dragon demons don't want that. They despise that shit. They despise us for that.
Yeah, fraternities and sororities that's designed by these sociopath and psychopath narcissistic slave owners, you know what I'm saying? That are, man, let me tell you something. They've been so jealous of soulful beings healing all the universes, especially Mother Earth, to the point they had to form these fraternities, form these sororities, you know what I'm saying? And like, you know, get so many indoctrinations planted into, you know, citizens who go to a college and just like fucking just destroy their whole inner being, you know what I'm saying? But then I realized this, man, like shit, you know, those who are like, you know, quote unquote chosen ones, you know, they will never like let no fraternity and sorority destroy their whole inner being, because like, you know, their whole purpose is healing the universes by, you know, spreading genuine love, like to, yes, all the soulful alien life forms of all the angel number multiverses, we are all one kinetic power source. You know what I'm saying? We are all kinetic power source of all elemental batteries that can never go out. You know what I'm saying? That's what these D-room alien slave owners are afraid of. You know what I'm saying? I tell you this. I would tell this in any college. Any college. It could be fucking Satan Hall, fucking Syracuse. It could be fucking Miami. It could be California, USC, UCLA, ULM, Grambling. It don't matter. All of those colleges would get the work about how these fraternities and the sororities, you know, they don't care about the cosmos. It's all about, you know, lying to our inner being and just like, you know, take us away from healing the cosmos and like do inner work within ourselves to heal our cosmos. Fraternities and sororities, they don't want the soulful beings to do inner work. You know what I'm saying? So we can heal our cosmos, because when we do a lot of inner work and connect with each other, you know, connected with our cosmo family of all the angel number multiverses, that literally brings that one kinetic power source together. And it could destroy all these, you know, soulless, sociopath, psychopath, slave owner industries like this fraternity and sorority. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, that's that unimind, uniheart, unisoul, enlightenment, awareness, and awakening knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Of comprehension.
They feel that shit. They feel the energy that it takes to heal and to create. And they also see what it takes to destroy. They don't realize that energy can't be destroyed. It's only transferred or altered. We transfer energy. We alter energy. That's something that we naturally divinely do. You know, that's shit that we do. They don't know how to do that because they're scared to tap into that shit. They want to have power and have control. They want us to listen to them. They want us to do what the fuck they say when the fuck they say and how the fuck they say it. People like us, we don't do that. We rebels. We don't do what the fuck they want us to do. We're going to do the opposite, because that's what our soul would tell us to do. Whatever our soul and spirit tell us, we divine. We go through it. We go with it. They're not used to that. They don't want to do that. They're scared of that. They're scared to walk in their true light, their true divineness. They scared, man. So they take the people who love themselves and who have it in them, and they deprive them from it, man.
So let me tell you about Sigma from Mega Man X. He basically, you know, reprogrammed a lot of reploids to be under his control to take over the universes. And Mega Man X would had to stop every single reploid that was under control of Sigma, just to stop Sigma and his universal destructional plans. And it's just like fraternity. You see, Sigma, you know, a fraternity controls students And the soulful beings have to sit here and destroy the Sigma fraternity to destroy all fraternities from these damn colleges. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. The fraternity and sororities, made by these D-room alien slave owners that had programmed the students to be so indoctrinated to false way of living, living the way that the narcissistic slave owners wants them to live, and abandon going with self and think with the mind, heart, and soul, and just abandon intuition. You know what I'm saying? Those demon alien slave owners broke universal laws with the fraternities and sororities. And, me and you are making the demon alien slave owners pay for their crimes, by us just exposing this fraternity and sororities, because this video that we're making right here is going to put the fraternities and sororities out of existence once and for all. It will never come back because we got it on blast, on that ass.